Hey guys, my name is Matt, and in this video I want to show you a strategy that will finally let you touch your toes. I'm not a physiotherapist, I'm not a fitness instructor, I have no credentials whatsoever. However, in the past 2 weeks, I went from like this, okay? It was about here. About 2 weeks ago, I was about here. And I am now here. How did I do this? Well, if you're anything like me, for all your life you've thought that the reason you can't touch your toes is you're like not a flexible person and you need more flexibility. Your hamstrings need to lengthen, they need to be longer. And to achieve that goal, you've thought that the correct way to do it was stretching. You need to like stretch the muscle to make it longer so that it can go there. I mean, it makes sense. Like when you look at it, it's like, oh, okay, so it's not long enough, and then yeah, it needs to lengthen and go down there. But this is completely wrong, okay? All that thought that you need to be more flexible and you need like hamstring flexibility and they need to be longer and stretch, that lie, that myth is what kept a lot of us from being able to touch our toes and have what you would call flexibility. So when I realized that, I started to use a different method, and that's what I'm going to show you. And let's launch right into it. So, say you're here. Say you get to about here. Now you want to go further, but when you do it, you feel like a tension. So you might feel a tension about here or something like that, and maybe like behind the knees. That's really where you feel the tension. That's where you feel the problem, and that's why it makes so much sense when you think, oh, okay, I need to focus on those hamstrings. They need to be looser because they're tense, they're tight. But really the problem is not just in those hamstrings. It's more complex than that. See, what's really happening is when you get to here and you try to go a little further, your brain senses that all your other muscles, not just the hamstrings, but all your muscles don't have the control, don't have the stability, don't have the strength to go any further. And so your brain basically just stops you. Like you can't overpower it because you're getting these signals from all your other muscles and the hamstrings going to the brain and saying, no further, no further, no further, no further. And the fact is, they're right. They're right to issue that warning because you don't have stability, okay? So how do you get it? How do you get this stability and strength and mobility in your muscles that will allow your muscles to tell your brain, yeah, it's cool, keep the movement going, we're fine, we're no worries. Like, see, I'm here, and then I just go, oh, I want to go further. Ta-da, I'm further. No big deal. It's not because my hamstrings are longer. That's not the reason. They're the same hamstrings that were there 2 weeks ago. They're not any different. They're not longer hamstrings. I'm just allowed to go into that range. So, here's how to get that stability. What you do is you go to where you pretty much can't go any further. So say you get to about here. Okay, from there just back off a tiny bit. Just back off like, an inch or something like that. And in this range, that's where we're gonna start building stability, okay? So you need to build stability in your hamstrings, calves, things at the front, whatever they're called, under your feet, back, right? Glutes, rotation external, rotation internal, quads, muscles that like lock your knee out. You need to build everything around them, right? So, most videos at this point, they'd give you, here's the exercises that you do, but that's not what you're gonna do, okay? You're gonna just be free range, okay? So you're here, you back off a bit, and now you gotta start to move. You need to move here and develop your stability, okay? So there's a few I like to do. This one is fantastic. This is kind of like getting your calves to be active, okay? At the same time, it's putting a little rotation on your spine, and it's making this go in and out, right? So it's getting a little bit of an experience here, okay? So this one is fantastic, okay? But that's only a part of the picture, okay? You're also going to want to do, I'm just going to go through a whole ton of them. You got to do them all, okay? You're also going to want to stand on your heels and raise up your toes like this, okay? So we're getting a bit of control in here. We're making our, this musculature comfortable with this like normally unbalanced pose, okay? So toes up. You're going to need to do your quads. So you're going to need to do something like, right, I'm focusing on the muscle here, right? Okay, our quads are locking out, our patella goes, locking it out, okay? You can do it with a bent over back, or you can do it like this, okay? So you're focusing on like locking out those quads in a position where you're kind of, you're kind of stretched out here. Like this is going to be putting pressure on your hamstrings. So get those quads working there. Okay. Another one I like before we were doing this, which is giving a slight rotation and movement up here. But what I really like is this. Okay. Just start going like this and moving up here, like side to side, to give that just the experience of movement and stability, okay? And you just string all these together. You just go a bit of this, bit of that, bit of this, bit of that, dealing from everything. Now, as I said before, you also need rotation, okay? So normally we just have our feet, just facing forward, but you really should be, playing around with different foot angles like this, okay? Like this. Okay? There's much more. There's much more to do. You need to turn on your adductors, okay? So you need to go up here and then go like this. You also need just full control in your hip joint with your legs stretched out, okay? So, your femur is like thunk and it attaches onto your pelvis like, in here. So you got to go like this. Move your feet back and forward. Okay? Get everything going. Okay, there's like more advanced ones as well to build like really good strength in the hamstrings, which this one, I think I need to go here. So I got my heels on the ground only. My heels are on the ground. You can see here my knees are not locked out. So I can go like this, locking them out and not locking them out. And I can go like this. Okay, that's getting those hamstrings comfortable in working in a locked out position. Your hamstrings in this position are literally working in that really elongated position. Okay? Also, you can just do this. Go all out. Okay? Move like that. You can find your sit bones here. Don't sit back like that. Sit forward, and you can wriggle side to side. Okay? You can go all the way over like this. You can move these up like that. Okay? And all of this is like just making everything just that little bit more stable and giving it more control and all that, okay? Making it stronger. And you're gonna find that after you do that, you know, just before I do it, I like to just do a bit more of this one, because this is like the most, I don't know, this seems to be just the most effective one, I find. And then, see, I touched the floor there. I touched the floor, like, that worked for me. I got an extra, like, this much just in that session, okay? So, I think you now see why you've had so much problems in the past. So many problems with touching your toes in the past. You've probably been trying to do stretching. It doesn't work, okay? I told you at the beginning of this video, 2 weeks ago, I was this far away from touching my toes. Now, I've touched my toes. And it was that simple. My hamstrings are not longer or anything like that. There's just stability and control in all the muscles, including the hamstrings, in all the range of motion, all the way down to my toes. And that's what you have to create. It's as simple as that. You don't need to stretch, not one bit. You know, I've never stretched once in the past 2 weeks. Mind you, I stretched for years before. Okay, so that's it. Good luck. Hope it works out for you. If you feel like you got value from the video, if you could just give it tap that thumbs up, or click it with your mouse, just give me a thumbs up. It helps YouTube get more visibility for the video so other people can see it. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.